Ooh.
So
Oh, nice.
now there should be stuff coming to YouTube, maybe in a bit. Let me refresh my YouTube here.
I would be interested to see. I'm not
You
sure
are
if it's
live.
possible.
How do I view on YouTube? Here's a deep link, I guess.
I guess
Okay,
exactly
you're
because you're
about
unlisted.
to view a stream on YouTube. Oh yeah, okay. It's so, and now I'm
Oh yeah,
probably
it's
gonna hear echo.
somewhat.
Well, yeah, you probably want to do that on your own screen. Let me see. What is this?
Yeah, it's unlisted. I cannot. I need at least the link. Do I have the link? Can I see it here in StreamYard somewhere? I just see you are live, and I see that it's unlisted, but I do not. Here, view on YouTube. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, well, I
Um,
couldn't find it either immediately. So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I
it does
guess.
work. It does work. Wait here. Hey guys. Cool.
You can now put
And
people in timeout for different lengths. So, okay, so if people are, being an jackasses, yeah, we can time. And if you type on, I think we also have, there's private chat.
I already did. You mean
Yeah,
between us? Yes, there's also private
yes,
chat.
yeah, and I
Um,
see, I also see your, so you can go here and you can click on this one, and then that pops up on screen.
I have to say it's a nice software. Once you hide show. What can you do?
Yeah,
Put you.
yeah,
That's what you see. Put you very bad user.
yeah.
Oh boy.
And I guess, we want to
Ah.
have maybe this one where we guys are hanging out there. Yeah, I guess if you can twist your camera a bit so you're a bit more centered, so you're not sitting.
Yeah, exactly. I that's what I wanted to say. I will be off for a few seconds because I will jump on another browser and see if my
Yeah.
continuity camera works there. Otherwise,
Okay.
I have this garbage camera here, but I don't want to use it.
No. Well, you can just open the other browser and stay around on this one. I guess that
Does
should
that
be
work?
fine. I think so.
Enter the studio. Chrome. Oh, your browser doesn't support streamer technology. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't care. I cannot use Safari. Well, then the good old bad camera has to do the trick today.
Well, that's fine. It's fine to have it like on the side there. Because what is
Yeah,
it?
that's ugly. That
Apple
looks super weird.
continuity camera StreamYard. Let's just ask Google.
I'm not sure if
iPhone
that
only
is.
camera. So they have a whole article about it. You can see here StreamYard. So it should work. Your browser name
Exactly.
will be
Your browser.
recognized.
The funny part is I cannot use the browser which supports it because StreamYard doesn't support Safari.
Well, they claim that it should be working, right? You should be able to pick it up.
Settings, camera.
It might be that you have to go in and allow.
The thing is, oh wait, let me camera here.
It's interesting to see. So it's. I think there's about 5 to 10 seconds delay. Hang on, I need to expand my walking pad again. I'm getting tired of just standing up. 1 second.
I guess I know why it didn't work. I could make it work. I'm not sure if you even hear. You don't hear me anyway. Hello.
Hello yourself.
So, I guess I know why it didn't work. I still had Teams open.
Yes.
And because I used, even though we were jumping off the Teams call, it seems that the application still, I don't know how this whole system works with, allocating and releasing hardware handles. I have no idea. We have 3 viewers. How get we got 3? That's good.
I am unsure. Maybe it's because you and me are both viewing the stream, and StreamYard is also viewing the stream. So.
Fair.
Otherwise, if you are watching the stream, say hi in the chat. So
that's good, yeah. Oh, that would have been great. It would just imagine we got a message now from StreamYard because someone is really watching the team itself.
Oh, that's the one I was looking for. Zoom in. So if I want to make this legible for others, you have to sort of, when you're streaming, you have to hit also in Visual Studio. Come on. Close solution.
Do you want to put this then live?
Oh, we can do that. I wonder if this is legible for the folks online.
I mean, for me, I have it right now, like on a small screen. I feel this is good enough. So wait, let me put even if I put StreamYard to a second screen, well, it could be a bit bigger. It is okay. I guess it's really the minimal amount of
you have to have 250 or something, 200 to get it readable. But this is sort of a downside of 1080p, right? Or no, 720p is that it's just low res. So yeah. Yeah, so that might be a deal breaker going forward, but let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like $40 is a lot for that feature. They know exactly how to, slice their.
Yeah, but I know content is. But I guess what we can also do is we can do this. So now.
That's
more real estate, right? So.
Well.
And actually, what I can do is I can take my region to share and I can change the region. So if I make it more, I change the resolution to something weird, and then we can still be on the side, and it will still be. So so normally when you do something like this, right, you lose the vertical resolution, I guess. So I would need to experiment with that. But let me do this. Full screen it a bit. Then go back here. And so now you can see, if you look at the video stream, we lose sort of that's black space and above and below us. But if we switch to, I guess, this view here.
Yeah, the problem is that it obscures a bit the content.
Yes, so that's why I was playing around with moving us to.
But you can't edit this layout. We can just put me, or like we can stack each other off the left side. Wait, let me do that for.
Do you think we can do that? Yeah.
Dynamic,
let's go. Yeah.
Right here. I don't know if it. Oh, damn it! I cannot put you under. Here. So I made myself. I made ourselves smaller. Wait. It takes a while.
Oh no,
So,
actually,
wait.
if you go and edit one of the other layouts.
Yeah, I know. I had a new one. I Discord changes. Sorry, that was my fault.
Oh, no, you're good. So actually,
I'm not sure. Do you see what I'm doing right now? No.
No, I can show you what I'm doing if you want to see here. So, okay, exception. So I think it's safer to have them over on the left side, right? Here.
Yeah, exactly. So I took what I did is I took the last one you had, which was layout 7. I just made ourselves smaller. The other option is like you can use ours, and instead of having a row, just having columns. And that should fix the problem quite well. Even though we are overlaying, because if our faces is in your solution explorer, I mean, there's anyway empty space. No one cares about that.
I'm trying desperately to move my browser window. I want to see. I want, I guess, to maybe should we be up in the top? Well, now we are behind the streamer overlay. Maybe in the bottom. So bottom left. So if I move this there again. No, that's the wrong thing. Move this.
I will be back in a minute. I had short bio break. Is fine for you?
Yeah, of course. No worries.
So you found a setup for yourself?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me? 2 persons each corner. Save layout. Okay. I created a new layout
for so apparent reasons. Audio. Nothing changed, and I don't hear you anymore.
Okay. Did I mute myself? I can hear you. Send share screen.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
You see me?
At least one thing.
Yeah.
Interessant.
Have you muted?
No.
I
checked. So I went to settings and went just straight to test audio, and it works. Let me just try something else. Now I hear you.
Oh well, I just tried to. So, can you hear me now live?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I just went to YouTube and unmuted our stream, and I could hear me and you talking, both of us. So I think your sound was muted or something.
So what I did is I went to audio. I just used another speaker and went back to the speaker I used before, and magically it works. But it could be because every time the next time I will have the same setup as you. So I have these ones which are better with the cable. I think the problem is that when you put out your AirPods, they go in like not standby, but they have this annoying mode of
they tell that they're not in somebody's ear now, so stop playing music to me, right? And they switch to someone
exactly. And I think like for live meetings and stuff, that is not the best.
I guess it's nice if you take them out and you go to the restroom or something, or like then they mute themselves or turn. Either way, yeah. Wait, hang on. That's the. Wait, what Visual Studio is this? I have multiple. Oh no, I want that does previews. So. Oh. Jesus Christ. bUnit. There we go. Okay. And now we have to have 250. But I think this might work because I don't know if I made your screen size bigger. Oh no! Damn it. Your picture.
I don't think so. Can you make them? I thought they are in a row and they are anyway in the same size.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I want to delete this one. How do I delete it? Well, we have this layout. If I edit that, well, they should be. No, I basically you can add another item to the thing, and you can choose. Yes. Move layer forward, backwards. So you can even put us behind each other, stuff like that. Fit and fill. Okay. Cancel. No, that's just that other custom layout one that is still that I don't want to have anymore. But full screen layout. Oh, and you can also click down in the
I see the full screen. No,
but I also mean here, like you can click on these guys down here to sort of do full screen that one.
Yeah.
Just me, just you.
Full screen layout, yeah.
Guess we can edit this and call it live stream 0. Let's see. Okay. I guess we still have a merge of main into.
Yeah, I tried that 2 weeks ago. I still have an open branch locally.
You can also share your screen if you want to work on that together. FS.
Yeah, we can. I mean, let's do that. Let me share my screen and let me put StreamYard to the other screen because otherwise we will see ourselves. It's fine. Let's share. You see, yeah. Let me know if this is big enough for you. Otherwise, I can.
Yeah. Well, it's 710. Yeah, you might want to increase the zoom a bit. For the users.
Yeah. Oh damn it! That was not the zoom I'm looking for. Corn. Yeah, that should be fair enough. Huh? Before we do this, maybe if you remember, we still have one open pull request we can go through together.
Yes.
If you
Let's
want.
do it.
Let me open this here on the browser as well. This is this one. Let me maybe also increase it here a bit, huh? That might be a bit small. So the idea was, like, if you remember, you sent this link regarding performance things you should consider when writing, the source code generators. And one of them was basically, so if you go here to the files changed, basically,
quick. So should we just try to change the YouTube thing to public and see?
Yeah. Let's
something
go.
happens. Yeah.
I can also push. You know what? Let me stop my screen. Let me present my screen. Share screen.
Yeah.
No,
make sure you're not sharing things that you don't want people to see. So,
yeah. Exactly. Yes, exactly. So let me open everything as it is. Stop sharing. This thing is a bit in the way here. Exactly, here's the performance thingy. Exactly. Yeah, I'm good to go. I mean, if you want, I can also.
Oh, I already did. So we are live, I guess.
Okay, perfect. Anyway, no one. Good thing is you see if you have live viewers or not.
Yeah, I am not suspecting people to show. I'm not expecting people to show up just because we click live.
How do I get the link? I have an idea. I just want to.
Oh, I think. Can I?
Yeah, I have it. I have it. My idea would be I would post that now.
Oh yeah, it is live, so it is. That's. Oh yeah, now we see you sharing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It was like maybe I would just push this out, and if someone wants to come, there's one viewer. That's myself right now.
Well, why not?
Why not? Spread the word. Oh, look, a nice thumbnail. Just imagine you have some confidential information that's on the screen. Oh, I like that. Okay, let's go. Okay, so exactly. If you remember, we had this thing about performance of the source generators, and I tackled now one specific issue. Blog post, I guess it was Ardalis. What he mentioned is basically, as you can see here, I had this add start class info, and I used an I-type symbol. And as far as I understood the article, it's about having a cacheable instance, or something you can compare between two runs. And the biggest issue is I symbol, and everything which derives from I symbol basically never is comparable to itself. So even though nothing changes in your code, it might be that the generator thinks, this particular code changes, so I have to re-invoke the generator.
Yes, and that's what we don't want. That's the advantage of incremental generators, is that they should only run when there's actually things to do that is new compared to previous. Yeah.
Exactly. So the idea of this whole pull request was, removing first this I-type symbol to something under our control. I guess you wrote this also somewhere in the article. Basically, try to use records, try to use something which is under your control and where you can determine if two things are equal or not. And that's what I try to do. First, I use the record, and instead of this I-type symbol, I basically, put in all the information I need in, this thing down here. And for me, it makes totally sense, because how a generator normally is, if you go back to code, how a generator normally is working is, now let's add stop generator. So is you have two phases. That's the collect phase, And that is like
Yeah.
the execution phase.
You filled out
And
all the stuff you want to work on, and then you have something you do with that. And I think incremental generators, correct me if I'm wrong, if my understanding is that during the collect phase, you tell it, if these things changes, and I'm going to return something to you that you can do a get hash code on. If I start getting new hash codes, then you need to call my generate bits.
yeah, exactly. So this thing here will certainly check for stuff. So if this changes, for example, then the generator knows, hey, let's invoke execute, and that's basically the whole, the biggest thing you have to overcome. Find something where you know that two runs are equal. And one of the issues, and I'm not 100% certain if I tackled that by now or not, is that if you have something like an array, it might be, I hope so, that two runs are stable. That's at least what I'm thinking right now. But it could also be that the sorting order for us shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter, for example, if we have a new stub or the user wants to have a new stub. It doesn't matter if it's now the first one or the second one in the second run. And immutable array, yeah.
So I guess a question here would be, it's notifications. Never mind. So it's just starting dinging around me. So immutable array, if for that to be comparable with a previous, add stop class info, does the order have to be the same?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, for the equality, yes, it has to be the same. So my maybe wrong assumption at the moment is that as long as your code is stable, the order of entries inside your array should be stable as well. But that's a bold assumption.
Yeah, but
then again, why should the compiler not be? That would also mean the compiler would be deterministic.
Yes, I think it's probably fine. I think it's and I'm fairly certain actually all the immutable types came about the same time when they started doing analyzers and source generators from the .NET team's point of view.
Yeah.
So I think that they are the right tool for the job in this particular case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then basically everything evolves around that. You have the collect phase. Yes, I will come to that in a second. And then you have the execute phase. And the hope or assumption is the execute phase is only hit when there are really things that change, where we do say something changed. I can go in here, get stub class info. So it still does the same. So we're still checking in both generators, we're still checking, hey, is there either this add stub method or this attribute? That didn't change. So the only thing I did, and I feel even this is better than before, is that all so it's very functional programming now. It's here a bit of precondition, like is everything really hit as we want it to have, like basically as here interceptor stuff. Is this really the interceptor stuff we want to? And this is just gathering information of the location. So this is just .NET 8's interceptor stuff. And then, and I do like that personally, is a lot of link. So we're just checking, okay, if you have this add span methods, we go through basically the properties. So we have the symbol add stub, and inside add stub, we have a component. So the component the user wants to fake out in, I don't know, like your button or something with this JavaScript. Or JSON interrupt. And then we're going through all the properties. And basically what we're checking is, hey, are you of this type or of this type? I guess it's also pretty straightforward, I hope.
Yeah.
And so what it leaves us is all the properties inside our member, which are, let's say, fakeable, because we're not really interested in having other properties. We are not really interested in having public API. At least now we're not interested into that. And then it's just pretty straightforward. We are creating a new record which has a name type and its attribute line. This was there before. This is this whole generator. I didn't really change the content in here. I just moved it around because I need this in both of the generators. the source code generators. So that didn't really change. And the cool thing, at least we can see it right now in the pull request, is when we go to the execute method, this is really, really slim. That's the whole execute. And before it was quite heavy in logic, but it shouldn't be, because in the collect phase, there should be the elbow grease, and execute is really just, dumping down all the content you want to write down with the interceptors or the source code generators. So this one is, at least when we check the diff from before and after, here's the, I wrote too many generators. So here was, you see, there's the logic now inside this collecting phase. And if we look at the generate step component, if we have a, where's the execute phase? The execute phase is this. All the stuff in here is execute phase.
Just a small side note. I took the liberty of changing your name in StreamYards because it was covering your entire face. So it was like going all the way across. So now you're just Steven.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, maybe I should rename myself.
It's because you're leaning forward. So basically the name and your whatever tag was covering your mouth and nose. So
I shall get that microphone arm. That would help a lot. Also to reduce the echo. Anyhow, so this is the first one. And if we have a look at the second one, this is the test. I guess no one is interested in tests. We have, this is the attribute version.
I am.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. Somebody's at the door. Just a quick break for me. 1 second.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Steven, I'm going to need 2 minutes, so you can entertain people by yourself.
Okay. Have fun. Yeah, exactly. For people who have joined, we are going through some source code generators. So basically, if you know bUnit or Blazor, there's a certain, let's call it, issue. Imagine, let's go to our components or the tests. Now tests are very, very, very handy. Imagine you have a component, like here we have this counter component, and this counter component has a lot of parameters. It might have cascading parameters, and for the worst, it might even have something like that. Imagine we have JS runtime, and this JS runtime does something. You can imagine, for example, you have a click on a button, or even worse, if we override the on-after render, if I can write correctly, on-after render async, you are allowed to call JavaScript. You could imagine that I want to have something like animation, which is triggered via JavaScript. Let's say here, if first render, and we call something like JS runtime invoke async, void async, because call animation, then this is nice. But the problem is, if you want to test that, you have to either mock out the JS runtime or find another way, to make all these things work. And this seems pretty obvious. You could just say, okay, I'm using loose mode, and with loose mode, you don't have to do anything when it comes down to JavaScript. But imagine on your click event, JavaScript does something, so your click event will be triggered. And this is not so easy to fake. You have to know the internals of that component. You have to know what's going on with the JavaScript. And for what it's worth, imagine now the maintainer upgrades that library, somewhat calls those internal methods differently, and then you have a big problem because your tests fail. Even though you didn't change anything, your code is just, brittle. And this is where we introduce something with source code generators, where we take basically the public API of a Blazor component. And what is a public API of a Blazor component? Well, everything that is a parameter or cascading parameter, we take and basically create a stub out of it. So how does it work in practice? You can see I have here my counter component. My counter component basically consists out of those 4 public properties, but this one is not a parameter. So we don't necessarily care if this is a round or not. We are caring about those 3, because if you have a Blazor component and you have a child, they communicate solely via parameters. So if you click a button and you want to push down that information to your child, yeah, well, you are updating its parameters. So the contract of 2 components, yeah, it's basically parameters. And if we have a look at our test, then we have this counter component here. And what is also cool is you see the symbol. I will come here in a second what it does. But our library, the generator, automatically creates a stub. So I can even click inside, and as you can see, this is an auto-generated file from bUnit generators. And as you can see, all the 3 public parameters, they're also here. So there's no JavaScript more involved. There is no unnecessary other setup involved. And you can just work with that stub. And that makes it so much easier, because this test now works without problem, even though your component, uses JavaScript. Just that you know, here's a parent component, and the parent component just uses this counter component as its child. So this is the basic idea. We are offering, so to speak, 2 flavors. One flavor is .NET 8 interceptors. So what interceptors are doing, and this is pretty cool, is if you register something like an interceptor, it checks this code and it sees, you wrote this method. For example, here add stub. And we have an interceptor which literally looks like, hey, do you use this add stub method? And if you do so, just replace it by something else. And here, writer is really helpful, because you can just go in. I can just click on here, and then you can see here's interceptor. How this works in detail doesn't matter too much. I can explain this later on. But as you can see, there's a locations attribute. For example, here, this is where the repository of bUnit lies. And then you can see on line 10, 21, and 32, always at column 22, intercept something. So if we go back, I just have to check this one. If we go back, then you can see this is line 10, and here starts the column 22. So what the interceptor is doing is, instead of calling this method, if we go back, it calls this long thing as a replacement. That seems now a bit odd. Why are we doing this in the first place? And the reason is that this one, or this add stub, normally it would just add empty content. So if you have a counter component, the markup would be empty. But that's not necessarily what you want all the times. Sometimes, as I said earlier, you want to have the public API of your component, and this is what we do. So in the markup, you will have this component. So whatever you did, it works as before, because again, contract between 2 components in Blazor is their public parameter set. And yeah, this is how interceptors work. So instead of writing add stub, during compilation, what we are doing is using this method. So we have our counter component and then counter component stub. So we're replacing all the calls to add stub with exactly this line. This is in very basic fashion how a damn interceptor works with .NET 8. The second flavor we have is this one. You can just use attributes, and I'm pretty certain many are familiar with that, because you can use already something like JSON. Whole Microsoft logging has the support for source code generators, and that's fairly similar fashion. We are just enriching this component with the public API of whatever you put in here. So this is almost the same component. I don't know why I didn't use the counter component here again. I just used the new component. And then again, those 3 properties are on our component stub. I do think that's a cool feature as well. If we go here in the dependencies and then .NET 8, because it's a .NET 8 project, you can see here on the left side, there are some generators. And these are the two generators basically we are using. And if I go there, then you can see there are two generators because we are offering two generators, one for the interceptor, one for the attributes. And as you can see, there's a button component. And there's also a generated button component. Stop. If we have a look here, then you can see it's exactly the same thing. You're back. Okay,
Sorry
I just
about
explained
that.
in very, yeah, don't you worry. I explained in very brief terms what our generators are doing. So basically, you know, making shadow rendering happening, and that, yeah, to put it very simple, as I explained it the third time, contract between parent and child Blazor components is their public parameters. That's basically how it works.
Yes.
And yeah, okay.
So I don't think we enable shadow rendering as much as we enable you to say, well, this component, I don't want to use the real one, I want to use the replacement. And so it's shallow in a sense that we don't render any child components of that component that you decided to replace. But shallow rendering from back in the days in the JavaScript ecosystem used to mean that you say, I want to render this component shallow. So you call it render shallow, and that would render only that component and no child components.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
Yeah,
okay, yeah. But I think actually it's gone a bit out of fashion again in the JavaScript ecosystem, but people tend to prefer to render the full stack and instead of or at least substitute out individual ones.
Yeah, yeah, fair. I'm just thinking of my current project, how we do it, but well, yeah, we fake things out for sure. We do that. We do partially shallow rendering of subcomponents because they might need some setup. But then again, maybe that's a bit special if you are in the Angular realm and you have like super complex components. I don't know. Yeah.
I haven't followed the JavaScript scene closely. I follow some of the React guys on Twitter among other places. So there's definitely some discussion there. I think it seems like people are more leaning into the whole testing framework or testing library approach.
Yeah.
That we are also leaning a bit into with the what's the name again? Our
the web query package.
I'm trying to remember. We have our new window. Let me just. I'm blanking completely. We have this ongoing PR from Scott something.
From Scott, yes.
Scott, yeah.
Was that called web query?
Fellow MVP, yeah, the query thing. But yes, but the inspiration for all of that comes from testing library.
Yeah.
Testinglibrary.com. So if you go to testinglibrary.com, and that's sort of a more that's a slightly different approach to testing UI, right? So if you go to the getting started and go to the guiding principles over there on the left side, so that's basically the concept and idea. Now, we, compared to the JavaScript ecosystem, might have a bigger reason to replace components, or rather maybe third-party components, because some of them might be depending on JavaScript, right? Or other things that is tedious to set up. So that's sort of the disadvantage of being a strongly typed environment. But yeah, you basically want to say, well, no JavaScript, right, for you, and just test your own components in isolation from the third parties you're importing. So, yeah. Anyway, as you were.
Exactly. So I also showed like basically you want to get rid of, for example, you have like some call animation call. I mean, this would be, I would say, trivial because you can just use loose mocks. But then again, sometimes on buttons or third-party components, you know, on a click event, you have JavaScript, and if you mock this out, then it doesn't behave as it should. And yeah, so it's oftentimes just easier to have this fake of that component, which just mimics the public API.
Yes, and that also allows you to isolate your components from. Typically, I guess you would want to do this for third-party components, like component libraries and other things you include from the interwebs. That's the kind of components you might want to isolate. I don't think necessarily there are, or rather stop out or mock out or replace with in bUnit. I don't think there's not going to be a lot of value in stopping out your own components.
Your own components?
If like,
I have to say, I did this in my own project since we have the generators.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's really easier. For example,
it can be, I guess.
This upload file stuff and whatnot. Sometimes it's really easier because they need some JavaScript at the beginning, or Quick Grid might be one of the components which has its revamp at .NET 8, where it might be easier to have just a stub.
Well, actually, we do have a built-in support for Quick Grid, right? So, but it's a good example of what we're doing right there. Is actually by default, when you use bUnit, you get Quick Grid support because we have registered some JavaScript interrupt that basically handles all the Quick Grid bits and just do the default, right? So it was a fairly complex thing to do because there's a whole communications thing back and forth between the JavaScript parts of Quick Grid and the front end part, C# or Blazor parts, I guess. So I think a better solution now that we have component stopping would be to just use a stop of Quick Grid, or actually maybe create a mock of Quick Grid so that doesn't call JavaScript, but then does the expected thing. So it might be a refactor or a small, like a change we could have to the library. I think from user point of view, they wouldn't necessarily see it as a breaking change, because before we were using the real Quick Grid and just intercepting its JavaScript calls. Now we would just be replacing Quick Grid, and it would just basically do what we're doing in the JavaScript interception is that we're just saying we are basically telling Quick Grid that the screen you're rendering to has 1 million pixels vertical height. So if you're using virtualization in Quick Grid, or not Quick Grid, sorry. Man, I've been thinking about virtualize. Never mind. Yeah, well, Quick Grid uses virtualize underneath the hood. Hang on.
Yes, so virtualize is this component where you just renders like 10 elements which are on the screen, and you can say like how many elements under the fold are also rendered. But in unit test sessions, that can be a problem because you often want the whole thing rendered. Just imagine you have something with virtualize, but you wanna say, hey, there are X elements inside, and if you only render the first 10, then that's maybe not what you want.
Sorry, be back in 2 seconds.
Do I have a counter? I can make a timer, but I'm pretty certain that the 2 seconds are over anyway. But yeah, so the idea would be to have an indefinitely long virtualize component, but that goes a bit away from the pull request we are looking right now. So just to give context, we are just looking at the pull request for performance optimization of a source code generator. And the idea, I can just go back. Do I have it open here? Exactly this one. The idea is, if you never worked with source code generators, the idea is to have 2 phases in your source code generator. Let me go back to the generator itself. They are here. You always have 2 phases in the generator. So if you write your own source code generator, basically you have 2 phases. You have a collect phase where you retrieve information you want to enrich, and then you have an execute phase. That's where you really create most of the times additional code depending on your collect phase. Obviously, you can also say, hey, I have some, for example, static attributes the user needs. Then you also can provide them at the beginning. They are not costly because it's done anyway, only one time. And yeah, that's fine. But every time you recompile your code, it can happen that your collect phase, this is this one, tells the compiler all the stuff has changed, even though that might not be true. And I will come to in a second why this might be. And then again, everything has to be executed again. So the worst case might be you have a lot of interception, or you enrich a lot of the source code with the generator, and your user just presses one space button and recompiles, and from a semantic point of view, the source code didn't change at all. But your source code generator, because of certain pitfalls, it does the whole work again. And we did this. with the preview version of this generator, and we want to tackle that. So one of the pitfalls is in your collect phase, you basically always have, if you can see it here, it's maybe a bit small, you have an incremental value of something. And the problem is if this one is not comparable to another object of an earlier run, then it might happen that stuff has to be done again, even though it didn't have to be done. So the whole idea is move things out, make it comparable or equatable, and put the work in to execute. You're back. I like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's the kid decided to come home early. So and then he has his friend over, and I need to set up something on the Xbox so that they can actually play without having me to help them out all the time. It's a whole thing. I will have that done by next Friday, if we so we don't get interrupted. Now, so all of that sounds good. I think it's fine. Like if you've tested it and it works, I am all for just getting it merged in.
Well, that's maybe one point. I'm also no expert on source code generators. It would be nice if we somehow could measure performance. But I have to be honest, I'm not sure how easy that is. Like some kind of diagnostics to know at the end, how long does that take?
Well, I guess what you could do is so performance is one thing, but what you want to measure the end-to-end thing, that's one, like running the analyzer or the generator from end to end, like a full run. That is one performance metric. I think another one would be that, am I correctly ignoring things that I don't need to, regenerate again? So for the most part, when people want to actually do a stop of a Blazor component, they only need to do that once, especially if it's a third-party component, because they don't change that, right? It's going to be static. So there's only one generation run that needs to happen for that.
That's fair, yeah.
So I guess there's a whole thing where you can set up a debugger, and you can attach a debugger to an analyzer, and you can see what it's doing when you
tried that.
Yeah,
I tried, but it works better with Windows.
I can imagine it's probably, you probably want to be in Visual Studio to have I won't say nice experience, because working with analyzers and source generators is a bit it still has some rough edges. But I think what you could do is you could basically it would. I think there is a testing method where you can call them and generate. And I don't know if you can sort of do a second phase where you say, we already have this, and it's sort of, you can rerun it. I'm not sure that's supported. That might be something to put on the to-do list. I don't think it's super important for now, though. What you could do is you are able to basically write out like log messages or information messages to the console whenever, like part of your reporting back to the user, right? So what you could do is, by the end of every generation, or actually you could just, in your source generator, you could just add a comment at the top of the source file and just have a counter, and every time but no, I guess you don't save state, right? So
no, you don't. And you cannot access the earlier runs.
Okay, actually another thing. So if you have configured the generator to actually output the emit generated files, you can go and look at the timestamp. So if you have like initial generation, and then you make a change that shouldn't cause it to rerun again in your editor, and you can just go and look at the timestamp of the file change. So actually, just to sanity check that the changes you made have an impact in terms of not rerunning when there's no need for rerunning it. So you just go to the your what's it called, File Explorer in Mac or Terminal, and just print out the timestamp of the file, because it would be overwritten if you have it emit the files.
Yeah, I thought I just put it here in the comments.
Oh yeah, you can also just put a UTC now, get UTC now timestamp.
Oh, by the way, does Visual Studio like Writer supports? So Writer knows if you intercept calls, and you can just click and you see how it works. I do think it's a cool feature. Does it? Is it also supported by Visual Studio?
I don't know. if it doesn't, that might be a very good reason to start using writer.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we can add this somewhere here, which is use the execute methods. That would be interesting. Yeah, header provider. Okay, das ist const. You know what? I'm fairly certain if I just append a line and make here data
maybe
now,
just a single comment, like not a, yeah, well, it's fine, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yes. Good old-fashioned logging as a debug method, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you cannot use console write line, which is exactly as annoying. Component step attribute. This should be this one. You see, it didn't even run. So that's a good sign. It did not update.
So that's typical thing. Like if you restart your whole source generator analyzer, you probably need to do that, like run that exactly, because otherwise it's
okay. Yeah, now.
yeah. But that's fine because that's expected. Now you basically threw away all the cache information, and so that would be expected. So the next time though, if you go and change something in the code, that shouldn't cause it to redo the whole thing, right?
Just one of the compile ones, just to be sure. So it's still this time, yeah. It's still this timestamp. Oh no, not this timestamp. Easy.
Well, you probably want to print out more than the seconds, maybe do milliseconds in your toString.
Why?
Because you want higher resolution, right? Than so.
I mean, I just can wait a few seconds. You know what? I always like if I press the build button now, it shouldn't update that time because I didn't change the code. That was my understanding.
Yes, but also because the source generator is also running live when you're just typing in your editor. So they're triggered all the time. So it just by adding, so I guess if you add a new add stop, but if you if you do something in there, right, that shouldn't cause it to rerun because you still have the same.
Yeah, it does. Oh, it does though.
Oh, that something happened there.
That is interesting because what I did is the counter component here. That's with the well, no, it should not run, huh? I do understand if the interceptor part runs again, because obviously if I change the lines, the interceptor.
Oh yes, try. Yeah, that makes sense because the interceptors are very specific.
This is not the interceptor stuff. Sorry. So this is not the interceptors.
No, that's the component stuff, right?
Exactly. So if I go back here, the interceptor stuff is on top. So we have those two generators. The top one is for intercepting, the .NET 8 feature interceptor, and the bottom one is with the attribute. And I added the logging to the attribute because this one obviously shouldn't change so much.
Are you sure?
That makes sense.
The file you have opened.
Yeah.
Is that in the?
If I go back here, that's the one I click now, and then you can see here's the timestamp. And this is from the component stop attribute generator. This is not from the interceptor.
Okay.
That said, if I keep that open, let's move it.
So if you move that that line down.
Yeah. Okay.
Well.
Yeah, that's already.
Yeah, but you also have interceptors enabled, so it might be triggering. I guess you should only use one of them if you have interceptors, right?
My understanding is that they are two generators which should work independently.
The thing is, you can only have you can't have a generator be dependent on another generator. Exactly. So it would be something where you configuration-wise decide to not do anything in one of the. So I think one generator or one source generator would look at the configuration and say, well, okay, this user has enabled interceptors of rather the preview feature, so we're going to use. So I'm just going to not do anything, right? It'll be a quick options check, and it's just going to return. It's just not going to do anything, and otherwise, it's going to use the other bit. Or maybe you just want one source generator that decides, depending on the configuration of the project you are it's being run on, whether to generate one type of file versus the other type of file. Does that make sense? I'm not sure I made sense.
Well, I understand your idea, but why should, like, how would the compiler decide what to do in this case? It has to run both anyway.
The compiler would not, but your generator would decide, am I going to generate components that can use interceptors, or am I going to just generate?
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
so you would have in your, and you can in the interceptor, in the initialize method, you can go in and look at what is the project I'm running against, like what is the CS project configuration things. There might even be things where you can say, is preview stuff enabled or whatever.
Yeah.
Use interceptors enabled. I'm fairly certain that it's in the context. You can just go and look at the context. And based on that, you do one thing or the other thing. But never both. It doesn't make sense to generate both.
That's true, but I'm still. But that would mean we would merge both generators into one.
Yeah, I don't see necessarily a problem with that. You can sort of see it as you have so that's the thing that actually spits out code. That's one part, and there might be two versions of that, independent of what configuration the user is using. And then you have just your generator, which is either choosing one path or the other path. So
yeah,
that's
true. I'm still much in favor of having separate generators for separate concern. I mean, the concern is roughly the same.
So, well, it depends on how you.
But the entry point isn't.
No, the entry point could be one entry point that decides on, do I go left or right, and then you delegate the rest of the responsibility to either one of those generators. So, yeah, it could definitely also be that people will be installing the bUnit source generators package, and then they read the documentation and say, hey, if you want this, the shiny version, you have to enable this, and then they go and toggle that, and now so now the generator will restart itself and it will choose a different path. So I think it's confusing that there is, like, when people go into source generators in the editor, they see two generators that are doing the same. Well, they're doing different things, but they're doing for the same concept. So I would rather just have it be configurable. I think it's also the common thing you see from source generators. Like, we see people, you have options you can define in your CS project file for your analyzers, or for your, you could say, include these files, for example, if you have static files or whatever you want to have the generator lean on. So I think that might be an approach you could investigate.
Fair. I mean, even though I labeled it as performance, I still would like to merge the PR just because it's more readable.
Absolutely, it's likely better than it was before. So it might be a to do. So no, I think it's let's get it merged. I think if it's also the generator bits are also still in, like, a bUnit that is also still in preview anyway, right? It's a preview library we are pushing out, so it's completely fine if it goes a bit haywire. And people, it's people's own fault, right? if they, so I think it's fine. Just feel free to hit the rebase and merge. I actually had an interesting discussion today with a colleague at work, because whether or not to keep create a merge branch versus doing rebasing. And he has a point which I kind of like, is if you have a fairly long-lived feature where you have multiple commits underneath that, and all the commits are named, well-named commits. There's a whole history there, but having a merge commit actually gives you sort of give you some information about, well, all of these commits, they're not just rebased in, so they just sit there, but they're like, this is a collection, this is a feature that was worked on that's collectively encompasses all these changes. So
I would have a counter argument to that. Not a counter argument, but I would say you can do the same with rebase, because probably if you have long-living branches and you tackle multiple things, personally, I would squash everything together which belongs together, but that's in an ideal world. And sometimes you just work on feature 1, then do feature 2, and then you have to do something with feature 1. And reordering commits is possible, but it's not trivial at times. So yeah, I do understand merges, and it makes also things easier sometimes to roll back certain things.
Yeah, you can
just
take
roll
the
back
whole
merge
branch.
commit.
Yeah. So actually, I think that was in the context one of my colleagues introduced the larger team to conventional commits, which we are also using on bUnit, and where you sort of split things into, like, each commit is either a refactor or a fix or a feature, and you don't mix the concepts together, because the idea is ideally each commit should be revertible and not break. Like, it should, like, for every commit you have, you should be able to run all the tests and everything should pass, right? That's the ideal world. I tend to not always get that experience. Sometimes you want to commit something that is a refactor, but it's the state that if people just check out that commit and they don't have any of the unstaged stuff you have lying about in your local Git cache, they might not have a compiling thing. But ideally, it should be compiling and building and testing independent of which commit you check out from the branch. And that also means it's much safer to, for example, you can go and right click and say, well, I want this refactor commit. I didn't like this refactor. I'm just going to revert that. And then everything should still be okay. So it's about sort of collecting or grouping things together in terms of what types of changes they are. And idea
is this realistic? I mean, yes, you can do this always if your refactor or whatever commit is roughly close to the head of that branch. But yeah, I don't think you can revert something which is a month ago, where code is actively changed.
So
you know what I mean? Like, it's very likely that you have conflicts.
So it might have been changed, like the same files might have changed later on again. So then you reverting those will introduce some merge conflicts. So definitely, yes. But the idea is, it's also about, for example, if I'm doing a PR review, I would look at the commits that are part of that PR and look at if all of them are refactor : right? Then I know it's the business rules haven't changed. It might be some. Then you look for, then you sort of your attitude towards that PR changes. If you have like a feature, which is short for feature : then that, if you're following the versioning rules, that would mean a minor, version bump. A fix would be a patch version bump, where you didn't change any features, you didn't remove anything, you didn't add anything, you just fixed code. Obviously, if you have breaking changes or you have and we don't do that on, I guess, in the bUnit here. But you could in theory generate the change log based off of commit messages.
Solely
And so for me, it's just I like to do that, not because I want to get all the advantages of being able to generate a whole bunch of documentation or change logs based off my commit history, but also just because it forces me to think about each commit in more an atomic sense. It's like a single change, single responsibility. No, that's probably not the right way to phrase it, but it's like you encapsulate one change and don't mix things. Otherwise, it can't be, I think, especially working with applications or services or things like not building libraries, you can get into a phase where you're adding a feature, but then you're also refactoring stuff. And at the end of the day, some of the refactorings you're doing might still be valid, but the feature you're working on might just go away, and then you lose your refactorings, right? So it's about having that split between and thinking about them independently of each other.
Yeah,
the types of changes you're doing. So
the only issue the idea I really, really like, and I mean, I don't want to exclude myself, but then on every project I worked, it's commits are not atomic. Commits not always are passing in our green on the build pipeline.
No, and that's the ideal. It's I think maybe I have a 50-50 hit rate with that, but it certainly makes things easier if you want to revert or just also if you just want to go back, like to being able to do bisect, right? Do you know bisect from Git, where you can basically say
exactly
from this commit to this commit something broke so you can basically write a test that checks where that thing that broke, and you can have Git just go back, check, like do sort of a merge, like a binary search through all the from A to C commits and figure out which one commit broke the thing. But that doesn't work if half of your commits don't build either way. So
that's true.
it's more about the ability to go back and check out a commit and run the code and see how things work at that point in time. So it's ideal, but it tend to
It's
not.
also interesting. If you use bisects, you should also. I mean, It's easier if you rebase rather than merging. That if you have a convoluted history, it makes it trickier.
Sure, I
use
agree.
bisect.
Yeah. I do prefer a clean branch tree where there's just a single line through. But if you have long-lived feature branches, it can be good to have that. This is a merge commit. I am probably leaning more towards just rebasing when I'm merging in. But he had some interesting points there, so I just thought I'll throw them in the discussion here.
Do you have a policy on squashing before merging or rebasing the main dev branch?
I tend to, if I'm doing like working on a feature branch, I tend to always follow the conventional commits. Sometimes you might get into a stage where you have a whole bunch of VIP commits, right? Or just small checkpoints commit. And sometimes if at the end of the day, I can combine all of that using Squash into a single commit that isn't too big on its own and makes sense, and it's all encapsulating a single thing, then I'm not against that. I don't really have any dogmatic rules about it. It's more like a sense. But if I am working on a feature branch and there are certain things I'm doing there that could make sense on their own, that's not really like that. They're just like spill-offs of doing the feature, like refactorings or improvements in other areas, just because you're sitting with your fingers down in the mud, right? You're playing around the thing. Then I would rather, if I have a dirty, like my Git commit history for that feature branch is a bit, it's not pretty to look at. You don't want to show that to the rest of the world. Then I would rather go back and do a reword and rebase each individual. Like you can go and if you're using you're basically able to go in and change the log history locally on your machine and rename things and maybe merge some commits together and create smaller commits, and then still not do squash. So it's about what you end up with. I don't know if that was that made sense.
No, but I'm just asking because I personally I never worked on a project where this was a rule that you squash stuff at the end, but I know a lot of folks much in favor of squashing. And while I do get the sentiment, for example, as you said, you have multiple commits and you just did them so you can work because the picture's a bit unclear where you want to go, and at the end it makes sense to squash them. But I feel like this is your responsibility on your branch that you can do this before merging it anyway.
I agree. I think it's a crush, right? It's something you fall back to if you can't get a pretty history otherwise, right? If you have good practices and good follow, like if you have like good a good process for dealing with your commits while you're doing them, also for feature branch, then you don't need to squash, because then each commit itself will have some valuable meaning to it. It will show you a history of what has happened, and then you kind of lose that with squashing. But if you're just doing VIP1, VIP2, VIP3, VIP4 on your feature branch, and then you squash it all together with a pretty message, well, then you like it. So I dislike losing. I dislike losing content or losing valuable information that might be in commits that are getting squashed into one.
Yeah.
Even though they get added to the body of the commit message that you're squashing them into. So but if there's no value there in the commit message you have already, well, then it's probably better to delete them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or squash and rebase. Use interactive rebase in some way or another.
Yeah. Now, anyway, I think we got a slightly off topic. Yeah. So the for the other feature thing we have, why do we have so many PRs? Is it just
this?
It's so.
If you want, we can tackle that right now.
Yes, I think it should be fine. Maybe.
Hey, we can do this off stream. I guess it's pretty easy. Go to main.
Most of them should be fine. So just you go in and check. That there's a few of them that might not be building because Sonar Cloud is unhappy with the reason why it's not. Yeah,
okay. I guess
but
it's
it might also just
flakiness.
be flaky test runner. It definitely feels like this is probably. Sometimes it just crashes, right? Specific method. Yeah, I get that one. We get that once in a while, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, that is from us. That is a method from us. We throw that in one of our tests, and dispose async is just not. Yeah, it is just not great, to be honest.
Well, so if they're green, all the updates just merge them in. I think that's fine to do.
You see here, test.
Yeah, we are expecting. You can see the line numbers in your code base there.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
It's on its test context base. No, you want to go back line below. Text context base test, which is a mouthful. .NET 5. Go to line 146.
Yeah, this component. Yeah, I don't know. .NET 7 doesn't matter. And this one is used here.
Yeah,
it could be a timing issue. I mean, it's just dispose async.
And we don't really have that. We don't have that ability in .NET 8. So that's one of the things I have on my to-do list to do is to rewrite the things around that and sort of hook into some of the new things that Blazor exposed to us in .NET 8 that we can take more control of. The dispose components method is we probably want to throw that away and give you the ability to dispose from the root, from the bUnit root
whatever
component.
you want.
Yeah,
on the level you
can
want,
just
basically.
take the whole component tree and just throw it away. Well, it's dangerous. Like if we go around the Blazor renderer and dispose a specific component somewhere in the render tree, but the renderer doesn't know that it's been disposed, right? Because we can't do that. We have to do it at the root level. But the thing is, with the new methods available to us in .NET 8, we will be able to go and take our entire root component and say, dispose of yourself, which means don't render on any child components, and then we can hook into because the Blazor renderer ignores dispose async. It just calls it, but it doesn't wait for it. It doesn't collect any exceptions. So there's some timing issues sometimes. And this is a test that keeps coming back to us, and I think it's a .NET 5 thing. And sometimes it'll work, and I think it might be. Yeah.
I mean, most of the times it works because it doesn't really use any asynchronous. There's no async code. Yeah. Oh, wait, there is.
Well. Yeah, and that's what the task delay. Maybe. I guess.
Why did we wait? What did we do here?
So I think one option, instead of using task delay in that test, we could change that to basically be a task completion source that we so you go and you can basically complete that task. So if in that component, if you change this component to have a parameter that takes a task as input, and that is what is being awaited in the dispose. So just take just a task. Not a task completion source, just a task. The task completion source is what we keep. Well, no, it would be a parameter.
I thought that it doesn't work that way.
Oh, you don't have our code frame, and so just await that task instead of the task delay. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then use the TCS here in the test. This one. Maybe
you probably want to
see sometimes it's even yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's even. You see, it can work. It can work. Does it do this right?
Yeah. So I am. I turned that off in Visual Studio, where it shows you it expands the names of the.
The problem is sometimes it's really useful. In this case, it isn't. It's really hard. It's not like one thing you can just decide.
I agree. I found that you can, in Visual Studio at least, you can go and you can choose to use it in certain places, but not all places. Like, for example, with lambdas, I tend to want to turn it off. You can go and selectively say, for lambdas, turn it off. And by the way, my naming convention is usually call it PS, the first one, because it's a builder, maybe. I guess that but PS for that, and then you have the P for the individual parameters.
For the parameter?
So, yeah. So, and now I guess when you call dispose components, it will start awaiting your TCS task. And yeah, you set to result, and then you await the unhandled exception, which should come immediately, and then I think the test should pass. Still, you might have other tests that we broke.
Well, the problem is, I mean, the problem is anyway, locally this will work most of the times. Even if I sort of run till failure, it just works because the machine is too fast in comparison to our TC runner.
Yes, but I guess so let's also say, so the point of this test is dispose components captures exceptions from dispose async so the whole idea here is we want to say that you can go and ask the renderer, was there an unhandled exception excuse me, try that again. Was there an unhandled exception from when I disposed my components? And that is, I guess, what you want to that's sort of the main point of this file, I think, the test. So I don't think our solution is wrong. And you could even, instead of having, you could actually, if you scroll down to the test class itself, instead of having, you can just remove the throw not exception, remove line 152, because we can just have our await dispose task throw, right? So up in the test itself.
Set exception.
Set exception, yeah. So then that is, I like that better, because then now the test is saying I'm going to return this exception, and that is the same exception I expect to receive somewhere else from, right? So just I don't know, not implemented exception or whatever, or
I mean,
it doesn't. Yeah, I think the idea was also that if you knew up the exception up in the arrange step, and you can assert that it should actually. You could be
the same instance.
Exactly, yeah. So that would be, pass it in. No, you were right. You're doing the right thing. So yeah, you would want to have set exception. Yeah,
I know it.
You can say expected and actual if you want to use expected exception and actual exception. Should be this. I think so. I'm actually not using shouldly anymore. Professional in my work, day-to-day work. I think it should be same as. I think so. That's the one thing.
That makes the reference equals.
I think so.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, reference. Yeah, so we want this. It should be the same as. Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah, it's fantastic when we can remove like task delays in our tests. That just that's 30 milliseconds we're not getting back from the test runner. Oh, did we break it?
I also have to. No, we have to. No, that's absolutely my fault.
You have to set it. Yeah, you have to set it.
Like, why is it running? You're running. Expected. Yeah, that might work now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So try running all the tests, because there might be other tests that are using the same test.
Yeah, they're all green.
Okay. Well, let's get it merged or pushed. Just. Is
that fine if we just push it directly to?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Fix.
So I'm wondering. Now I want to play around with. No, that's not that. Let me see if I can just stack us. Let me see if we move. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna move us over to the side. See if that makes more sense. So I guess people should be able to see what's going on there. So move us down in the corner.
Bypass rule violations. I was like, I'm pretty certain I can push directly.
Changes might be made. Well, I think so. I thought
No,
I
no, no, no.
was.
Works. Our faces are in the way. You will not see the message right now. It
Oh
works.
yeah. No, I see that. That is bottom right together. I'm just trying to update the layout. Okay. So. Oh, okay. I guess do a quick PR and I'll improve it immediately.
Yeah, it's too late. It's already merged.
You force pushed it. Okay.
No. It's just that I bypassed the rule, so it worked. So
okay.
The
Yeah.
last one, then you can see that's my commit.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So we have a bump to.
That's the question. We make it easy. I can just update here from here and make it in one commit. Chore update.
Yeah, that's fine. If you wanna, it's all packages. Let's get them out of the way.
The only problem is sometimes angle sharp. Here it's a different version.
Yeah. There is a newer version of angle sharp CSS coming soon, I believe. At least Florian closed my my commit over on my
angle sharp we cannot use because we have to update how's it called? Angle sharp CSS first.
I think we are using the alpha version.
Not always. So angle sharp CSS. Wait. Because it showed me here the stable. Because I did select pre-release. That's on me. That's on me.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Here is a mix of versions, and here we have.
Yeah, and I asked him if but I didn't want to. I understand it's finding time to do all the things, and Angle Sharp is a huge ass library, so he don't wanna. So the interesting thing is, I had the discussion with him and asked, well, what about getting to a V1 for a CSS? And he said it's not that the problem isn't that this Angle Sharp CSS in the alpha version is unstable. Because that's not the issue is he don't want to go to V1 unless he gets the last things done to actually be spec compatible. So he's trying very hard to stay with the HTML5 specs and CSS specs, and so that's just features missing. So it's
okay.
Yeah, so that's why we are sort of taking a dependency on. I mean, we had that one guy coming in raising an issue saying, well, we can't use bUnit because our policy is never to use any alpha stuff. And I was trying to explain, well, sometimes you can't find the powers in your company. So that's a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Sometimes you choose your wars or your battles, and obviously this one is something which I also did in my past where I can remember I had a project there.
You have to be careful. Oh yeah, we can't go higher with the XUnit runner.
But you did this comment quite well, so it's easy to see. That would be this one here. We cannot update this one.
Yeah, no.
But
I talked to Brad from the XUnit project, and he said, well, the XUnit runner should be compatible with the newer versions too. So
nice. So I also had a project where, if I can remember correctly, we used a library, which had like 4 or 5 years ago had CVE, critical vulnerability, and then the company just said no, even though it was fixed, everything in the current version was nice. The company just said no, and obviously you can try that, but it's super difficult.
Yeah,
and it was easier for us to find a replacement.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes, but I think to some extent, it depends also the level of the type of bug that was there, right? If it was a really egregious, obvious bug that should never have been a release thing, right? Then you might start questioning the quality of the code in general. But I think all libraries that have us, I guess we're a bit shielded from that with bUnit because it's like people are not using us in production in a sense. Like we don't. It's not like we're building some web service or something that framework that people. So there's things that can. So maybe nobody has reported any security issues yet. So fingers crossed. But
you could in theory use bUnit in production
There's
if you're
several
not
people are doing that. Yeah.
if you're not on .NET 8, to render some HTML based on a Blazor component. I mean, right now you can do this with the public renderer, but until then you could have used bUnit.
Yeah, and that's definitely people who did that. So I think it should. I think the Dependabot should realize that you've actually pushed new changes.
Yeah, but this one for sure not. This our actions. I guess this is fine because everything is green.
Yeah,
I just want to wait until it realizes that there is a new commit coming in and it rebases automatically. But
yeah.
Well, you know what? That's also fine to me.
So did you update XUnit, XUnit Third, extensibility?
Everything except AngleSharp, because I cannot update AngleSharp because the new version of AngleSharp is not compatible with our AngleSharp.css. So this one, the 107, cannot be updated. I tried it right now, and then there was an issue with the AngleSharp CSS is forcefully. Here.
Yep. So if you go to AngleSharp and just look at what dependency it has, because there is alpha something which we're using, right?
Yeah,
you can see it has a bunch of thousands, 100,000 downloads. So it's definitely not.
Yeah, a lot of messages right now.
Yeah. It's but if you go and now I'm getting dinged all over the place by. So the thing is, if you go to AngleSharp package, you will see that it's not. It has a dependency. So it. Or rather, no, sorry. If you go to AngleSharp CSS, if you go to the low version, you can see that it depends on that.
Exactly, this one here.
If you go to AngleSharp, the latest version, it should be compatible. Otherwise,
if we use the alpha.
And we are using that. We are definitely using the alpha already. If you go to your so we are using alpha there, but the generator project might not be. Oh, here you go. Yeah, that's the issue right there.
That's not that standard. I'm not sure. Can we bump this up?
Okay, no. So actually, what we want to do is for the .NET standard build, because it should be fine because Net 6, Net standard 2.
Why did we update this? It seems like it was a purpose. Is there a purpose?
Maybe it's just because .NET 5 is not supported anymore, so we don't really care anyway, and so it might be that.
I know that the internal source generator you wrote is also checking for .NET 5, isn't it?
It's basically whatever version you're using. It's using. So the internal source generator will be looking at the individual version we include for so when you're building when we are generating the AngleSharp wrappers and we are building for .NET 5, it's using the AngleSharp version of .NET 5, right? If we are building for .NET 6 or 7 or 8, it's using whatever version is defined in there. So it just picks up the version number that you, as the developer, have defined, right?
Good. So we can update this everywhere.
And maybe I just decided to not worry about the lower out of support versions of .NET and just stick with whatever we had there.
That's fair for me.
Where you can validate doc blew up. Why did validate doc blew up?
With my latest commit.
Yes. Oh, it's users verify attribute is obsolete, no longer required. Okay, so we have a place where we have users verify. If you search for,
I just ran a test and it blows up in my face as well.
Oh, it should be a build step somewhere. No, it's the validation of the docs. So, actually, no, the test also fails. Why do you fail?
Outside of warning, is there a detected package version?
No, yeah.
Which is not even used, but works for me. Validate docs. Sorry, let's fix this right now.
No, it just go to the source code and search for an attribute in the source code. Users verify. Yeah. So we are
well.
using that attribute in some of our tests. So if you just search for that, there you
In
go.
one.
Yes. So if you delete that one,
does that test work the same way then as before?
yes, I guess it does.
Detected. Okay. There's a reason. It seems like for .NET Standard we really cannot do that, huh?
No, well, that's fine as well. They just keep
Wait.
the AngularSharp version at the older version for .NET Standard, and then.
And this one doesn't exist. Doesn't support. What is that? But I also have it for version 8. But I click here, warning as error, detected package version of auto, and it shows me this package in, you know what? Rebuild.
Do a clean.
I am very uncertain if the error message really. Oh no.
So what's the full error message though? Detected package version outside of dependency.
Constraint angle sharp requires angle sharp, which is fair, but
no, but we're not using AngularSharp 1.17 anymore.
Angle sharp CS. Here you can see it. Oh, I mean,
well, so try. So it seemed like you found some. Like do or not. Yeah. Wait.
I'm looking just over files. It's not even like everything which is under the solution is not checked.
Is it defined up in the document props build document props CS?
It would show this here as well. For example, sonar analyzers are here. Like if I look for 9.18, you see that directory build props is also included in the search. So if it would be in here, which I don't think makes sense, but you know, no, there's.
Try searching for 1. No, actually, I think that maybe the problem search for AngularSharp, just AngularSharp, because we might have a version of AngularSharp that is old.
They're all on 1. What's here? No, they're also all on 100.
Is it? So we also have the AngularSharp diffing.
Yeah.
Does that have a
That is a very valid point. Is there a new version?
It worked before, like, so that's what I'm not understanding what's going on there.
No, this is the latest. Oh.
Yes, yeah, that's my side gig.
Yeah.
And
but that's. Thank you for whatever program that is. If we go here to your beautiful library, no, just greater than.
Yes.
Okay. If someone with a lot of new the heck?
So, but .NET 7 and 8 doesn't complain. It's 6.
Yeah, no. They complain all of them, which is absolute nonsense.
And it's bUnit.web.csproj. So if you go into bUnit.web.csproj, see if there's anything in there.
You mean this one, or web csproj?
Yes.
This is where we are.
If you look at the error message, right?
Yeah, exactly. If I click here, like also here, it or here, then it shows me this one. The generate, and yeah, I mean this is our project. I do have an idea. Let me, let me get the slash. How do I do that? Wait, yes, I will if I do know how. Where's the zoom? You see, I know that. Oh, wait. No? I thought always with 2 fingers with Mac. Was that the case? I know it's. You know what? Then let's take this terminal. This is big enough, huh? And I'm already in the right. I want to do find. Remove every bin, every object, and whatnot. And let's build it from scratch in which mode do I have? I have release. So let's use debug. So he has to create everything from scratch. And if he doesn't complain here, I'm not sure what's the issue.
No.
I could be caching.
Yeah, I don't know. So can you
He
in Rider
compiled the web.
can you go in and look at the dependencies and transient dependencies as well for packages?
Yeah. Has missing depend. No.
So the two ones that are not built, that's just expected because it's like that's.
No, but here again you have this warning, which will lead to an issue. Assembly packages.
Okay, well, let's try to expand that. So we are in.
Am I stupid? Egil shop requires. Now it comes from the bUnit core test CS proj, which is fair, has missing dependencies, and if I go in, well,
maybe we're explicitly in there. So it should get the depend. So but if you go in here and you upgrade, it just include a package reference to Egil shop.
Wait, I mean, everyone, even bUnit web test, is complaining about that, and I guess they're complaining because the original project, which is web, doesn't work out. At least it's my understanding.
But why did it work before? Because we just bumped Egil shop from 1.00 to 1.1, right?
Oh, wait. So now it's at least the old version. You see, now I have the old version. I'm on the same state as
for the net standard 2.1, and
you just remove this uses verify because that was the sole reason we did this journey. I'm very sorry. And at least
the famous last words. It shouldn't take long.
And there were like 20 minutes updating some new web packages. Yeah. Oh boy. But okay, you see now it's working because what's kicking in right now is the source generator. So we are for sure it's working. So yeah, it seems to be something with .NET Standard and .NET 5. Which is fine.
Let's leave it at that. I don't. And I guess docfx. Let's see the release notes for that. Sure. I'm just
press the button.
I'm just going to press the button. Yeah.
I guess for the dependency review action, I guess this is also fine to update, I would assume.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Release note. Oh, update note. That's good. So we have less warnings in the build pipeline.
I think it's fine. Just give it a go. It seems like it's that's absolutely fine. I took the other one out of commission. Just all right. Now,
done.
Should we look at the merge V1 into V2? I have about, I guess, 25 minutes before I have to check out.
That's so okay. Let's do that. I started it. So just whoever's viewing right now, we have a V2 branch, and obviously from time to time you have to pull in your current development branch into the one you want to, release.
Yeah.
Sure.
The goal is definitely to maybe manage to release a V2 sometime not too far distant future, but and make that sort of a new stable branch and stop updating V1. But yeah.
So just FYI, what I did is I merged the main branch inside.
Mm-hmm.
there are some problems after the merge. The biggest issue I have right now, maybe we should start from scratch. I'm not sure if this is better or not if we start from scratch, because I did something, and probably it's easier if we just, throw everything away.
You'll be the judge of that. I don't know how far you got, how much you did.
Okay, yeah. So biggest issue, let's I can park that for now. If I need this again, let's park that.
Okay.
So then let's go back to V2. I hope it's big enough that people can see what I'm doing.
Yes, at least I think. Yeah, no, it's fine. You're fine. You're good.
Okay, easy. Then I will reset my branch just for the people. I'm using a lot of aliases and Git, and CO is for checkouts. I'm reset part. So let's get the one which is on GitHub right now, and let's fetch everything again because we made some merges, and then just get that thing in. And I know we had this earlier with rebase and merge, but as we started with merging a lot, yeah. Okay, now here there are not so many big ones. I mean, there's a lot of oh gosh, try to do again. Here, I just wanted to make it big. I'm not sure if this is not big enough. I just want to have this one here.
I think it's like Visual Studio. If it's VS Code, you can just do Control++ to zoom in. It zooms everything. It's essentially just a browser. There you go.
So, okay. And here, I guess this is straightforward that we don't have to do.
Well, we did. The problem is we added some projects since V1 was V2 was last merged in, right? The query and the benchmarks and all that. Yeah.
But we can, for the sake of just thinking of it, the benchmark project we totally skipped. I know that, but that's just something we just threw out the window.
So actually, I think so. Merging that particular file is a pain in you know what. So maybe we just say keep my V2 version, and we just manually in V2 afterwards go, or rather, because essentially what we changed in here is we've added a few more projects, right? That's basically what we're doing.
Yeah, this should be easy. I mean, to be honest, we only have to remove those two and this one. And then we're good to go. I did this before.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Let's make it. No. It's easier if we just do it from the editor. Let's take the incoming. That is that.
Yes.
Because English shop wrappers doesn't exist anymore. It does not matter.
I always mess up which is incoming in that. I use the fork Git clients.
Okay, so because we're merging, the incoming one is the merge, which means main branch, and the current one is our V2 branch. If we rebase, it's the opposite.
Yes, but did we also remove some projects in V2?
Yes, exactly. I added them, but I will remove them from writer later on. The benchmarks we completely removed, but it's easier for me that way because my editor can take care of it.
But I also think we also removed bUnit.web or bUnit.core, and it's all just one. It's a while ago, but it's definitely what happened. Yes.
And I re-edited them now again.
Not sure. I would just say keep.
Okay, you know what?
So before you complete the merge, I think it's easier to
do it again.
Yeah, do it again. But just yeah. So essentially, I guess in V2, at least when I'm just looking at the source folder, we just have a bUnit, bUnit wrappers, bUnit template, and bUnit web.test doubles. For some reason, it's still left around. It's just a single file in there that should probably be removed. So we only have the bUnit folder left. So I think what you can do is you can just say, I'm just going to.
That was right. Yeah. Because the only thing here, this is new. That's for sure new on.
Yes.
And those one I can just drop later because they don't exist on V2 anymore.
No.
And English shop wrappers also doesn't exist anymore. So let's go with that. Let's take the incoming one. It was correct somewhat. Oh, come on, let's take that. And let's take that, and then we're good to go.
Oh, I was actually just going to keep the V2 versions and just add, just when you save
it doesn't. but yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter much, right? Because I can now do this. Go
Yeah,
here.
you should be able to load
go
it.
here,
And
and just say bye to this one. Ciao. Have a
and
nice
then on
day.
the source,
This one also doesn't exist anymore. We successfully eliminated that, and this one is merged.
I'm just looking up at the test. So actually, no, we do have test assets up on. If I'm just looking on GitHub on V2, we do have test assets there. We do have tests. We have AngularSharp wrapper tests, which I guess is gone. So
bUnit test is here. Aye. Why is it there? Jesus. Okay.
So hang on.
Maybe we should not do this anymore.
I got a phone call. 1 second.
Yeah. The joy of merging something which is, I don't know, 200 commits difference. Oh boy. So this is the current state of V2. We have AngularSharp, and here the test. Oh, we have test assets, but I do think I deleted the wrong thing. That said, let's do this again. We have this one here. Now let's take this one. Is this a better view? If I go here, I'll have the bUnit. What does it say here? Huh. Merge? No. I want to see the div. It doesn't show me. Here. Can I have a beautiful view of what's the issue and what not? Well. I thought maybe we can really do it with your tools.
I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, I can jump. Now I just need to move this guy out of the way, and here we go. Delete that. Let me. I can give it a go.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen quickly here. So then share screen. Window, region to share. I think it's showing something.
Yes.
And I guess how do I
beautiful Git?
okay, yeah, you already did that. Yes. Oh no, I'm quite a big fan of fork Git. It's a border license and everything. It's high level enough to be above the command line, so you don't have to remember all the intrinsic, like all the weird Git commands, but it's still low level enough to sort of have understanding what's going on. Okay, let's go over here and say we want to rebase, right?
No, we don't want to rebase because we already merged. It would make it a bit more painful now.
Okay, merge into main. Probably not fast forward, but let's give it a go.
Yes. You can try it. I don't think it
A
works.
bunch of conflicts. Oh yeah. So here we have the things that it actually managed to do. So, okay, it's really struggling. Let's see.
Oh, it does exist for Mac. That's nice. Okay.
Why are you not allowing me to? Oh, it's been deleted in main, and oh yeah. So I guess we just delete.
Yeah, but that's fine. They can be deleted. That's our workflows, I guess. That's absolutely okay.
And here we have benchmarks deleted in V2. We just delete the file. And here we have doc sample something. Let's merge that and have a look. See. So for V2, yes, we just have the version 8 bits around. But where is our conflict? Let's go to that.
The no warning. But isn't a conflict? I don't know why it shows it.
No, so if you do this, but then we say I actually want that bit there. So let me move that up here, and I guess we don't need that anymore. We might as well move to 11. Right, so that's the current one. remember correctly. And then all of this jazz here, well, that's fine. We just keep that part. Yes. And there's a CA. Well, okay. Re-render test X unit. Oh, well. So
well, yeah, everything which had the name render component is now called render. I guess that's the issue here, huh?
Yes, so select right. So that one's
But
solved.
wait, why is this? Did we change that file?
Yes, because the
Seemingly.
documentation, right, yeah. And then I guess we want our new friends down here as well, but I want to rename the method we're calling down here. So there we go. That should be fine. Here we go. Off. Next bit. What's this? Yeah, seems right. Samples.
Line version, but I guess that's something minor.
We can put that over there. Oh, that's it. Oh, no, no. Node. Yeah, might as well keep that in there. I believe that's fine. What is the difference?
Probably also render component. You have to take. You see that exactly
Yes.
there.
So we'll take that one. It's one. Nope, nope. Just gonna do this. Yep, do that. Here. Kill the first. Use. I actually think there's no render component in this guy, so I'm just going to do that one because I think we fixed something.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Should
this is
make,
quality
like-
content, Stephen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe we should just write a script which, just profile randomized, decides between theirs and ours, and then we
Yeah,
have to fix the mess afterwards.
Well, no.
That would
probably,
be
I guess
that would be something. You can, like if you stream that and have those plugins where people, can vote on certain things, just let them decide. Let them
This
let them,
seems slightly
let them give a B version they want.
problematic.
If this is
Nope,
compilable on a different sheet of paper.
Yeah, we want this one, right?
No, we want the other one thing. No. We want the DLL one, the assembly one. You took now the V2 one, or?
I did. Did I know? God damn it! Where did you go? It was docs side.
Exactly.
Well,
the important part, the source one, is the important one.
Yeah.
It was.
Can I get my merge conflict back, please? I could not.
No.
You
shall not.
You shall not pass.
Exactly.
Is there? Well, fuck it. It's good enough. We'll fix it afterwards. Just. Oh, and it's doesn't. It's been added. Merge conflict. I don't really see what's going on here. Why are you? What are you mad about?
Okay.
Cancel. Dialogue.
Edit and modified. Okay.
But I don't get anything here, right? It's not giving me anything. So
What if
I
you
might have,
check only one of the sides? Like,
I might have no, but then if I change one, I just choose it.
no, sorry. Okay, can you go to the merge again? Like, select both, but in that merge editor, you can also select between the versions. So you have there this v2.
No,
You cannot click that. It's not
nothing is
clickable.
clickable. No, let me fire up. Let's just open this in code. Maybe I apparently I was singing the praise of this tool made prematurely. Let's see, Git. Where is Git? Git.
Use referral code bUnit to get 0% off.
Yeah, that's how it is.
But I see they have some other features with GitHub notifications and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Image diff, history, yeah.
Now where did I get to? Source control. Close all the things. Close all. Which file is it? It's the dialog. Something. Let's find that. Over here in source control. Oh, it's on the one staged. I want the ones that are not staged, and I want the source bUnit dispatcher. Can I have this show as a tree? Type search. Here we go. We have it twice now.
But that might make sense because he said, like the other one said earlier, it was added in v2 and modified on main. No, it's not the same, or I can only read it a bit, like dialogue. I guess you also have to zoom it a bit, but I guess I get the idea.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to zoom
No.
here. How the hell do I actually open resolve and merge editor? So it just shows up as empty. What the hell is going on? Well, I guess if I delete the if.NET 8 because it's always .NET 8 and say complete merge. Did you go away there? Well, it did. I guess let's try one of these. Okay, here we do get something. So what is my conflict? I guess we just keep that, right? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
It does look like a staged match.
Yeah. So in v2 we deleted render component, render extensions. I guess that makes sense. It's been so long, right?
Yeah. Now I remember where my what my two commits were. I reverted the deterministic render approach v1,
that's
so
right,
to speak. But we can also do this afterwards. My problem was that the renderer looked so different because there are certain things on the main branch we introduced which weren't on v2, and then because of the deterministic render stuff, it was a mess. So maybe it's even easier here on the main branch or the merge from main if we just select whatever we have on v1 for the bUnit renderer and just remove the rest of deterministic renderer, because there's only like 3 or 4 places. It's pretty easy to get out.
I'm now, when I'm just handling this, I'm just going to go through and say I'm choosing, if we delete something, I choose that. Right.
Probably. We will see if it's compilable or not. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, bump packages, no one cares. We can bump them at the end.
Test assets. Yes, where's my conflict? Oh, it's this, but then we also changed a few. Oh, I'm just gonna go that way. Yeah. Sure. One more. Oh, we have more tests. Guess that comes in,
Probably.
but we want to remove.
Yeah, some of
that.
them are not compilable, but that's easy to fix afterwards.
Oh yeah, we definitely have to do that.
Like
let's see.
set parameters on render. A by
What
method
else?
is
Oh,
called render.
here's another render mode server, which I guess.
Yeah, it's called interactive, but you know,
we.
it's fine.
Aren't they identical? Well, I'm gonna keep
The question mark is gone.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Well, yeah. And
we had on V2 we had less questions, which is I guess good.
Yeah.
Super clarity. There
what
also.
else? Yeah. And I guess what file is this?
Deleted. That might be because a lot wait for help extension. I'm not sure. Why did we delete it? Because it's not in bUnit web anymore. And this thing is called bUnit session state manager.
Yeah.
And it's
so
not a bUnit web because we don't have bUnit web.
No. So the problem is that we changed them, but we also moved them.
Yeah, but I see just fix upgrade X unit too. I mean, at the worst case, it's just, you know, some thing we can just cherry pick at the end, or
we might
check what
need,
V1 has.
Might need to do that. The CS project file is gone.
At least I hope folks now have you know, it's not only in companies and big projects where you have this mess of big merge conflicts. No. Open source.
I think it's like we probably want to actually be good about merging in every time we merge to be just put something into main. We want to do that. So I guess these are just method updates.
I can't remember we had this guard in our CI pipeline, but we used rebasing. And all the time we had just weird conflicts. No one knew why they popped up. And it was so annoying that we just decided to, you know, don't do it and let's do it manually because we were confident that there are not many changes anymore.
I'm just gonna go choose lefty. Or choose V2. And yes, we want that bit. What else do we want? We don't want that. More conflicts. Well, let's put that one in. What about the last one? Where did you go? Latest. Yeah. Getting somewhere? Well, let's see. And yeah, okay. So here we actually do want to keep, let's put that in there. But now we only have, actually, let's do both. Mess things up a bit. Remove. Let's start with this one and then add that one afterwards. So that one is new. So we want that.
Yes.
And the version.json 2.alpha. That seems like the select there. And I guess, oh yeah, we want to delete that.
And edit and modify. Well, how is that possible?
I'm just gonna choose the main one because it's all Angle Shop stuff. Well, it's because, okay, so I guess now I have a working set. So if I go and open up the thing in, Visual Studio is not happy with me now. Reload all the projects. Yeah. No, you did definitely not. Go away. And go away, please. Here we go. So these still are around, but we don't want that anymore. But we do want Add existing project. bUnit source. I guess
You're right on. Yeah.
we want that one, and we want add new existing project, generators, and unable to find package. Well, that's fine. You should be able to find that. Let's see. I rendered fragment. Yes, that's no longer a thing, right? I rendered fragment. What else?
This is just rendered fragment. Yeah, for folks joining in, we removed a lot of the abstraction. Many doesn't know that there is much of an abstraction because it's well hidden, but internally we just consolidated a lot of the types into one or two objects. And probably in the future even one.
Can you go to, I want to have a, so the generator internal, what are you spitting out? Element wrapper factory. So that's definitely still is an element wrapper factory.
But the namespace is not bUnit web.
Element wrapper factory. It's bUnit English. Here we go.
This is something we can clean up later on because also the other source generators are creating a lot of. There's source generators, so it doesn't really matter where they live.
Well, we're down 4 errors, so not too bad. That's still complaining. Oh no, I know what's going on. This project is not referencing our source generators, which it need to, I guess. So if we go to...
Oh yeah, that's fair.
That's kind of fair, right? So if we go in here and go to v1 main, and we say, I guess it's, no, I'm in the test bits. Let's actually just jump into an code editor.
Can you scale that up?
Yes, it's just still loading.
Awesome.
Yep. Thank you. Let's see. So we have web and my CS project file. And I guess I want to include these guys as well in here.
Probably.
We have a whole bunch of, that's all the angle shop and probably my group we don't need anymore. So all of this goes away. And that's replaced by this.
Duplicate, which you can also drop.
Oh yeah, we don't need this bit there. Oh, yeah.
No, yes, it's not that. Oh yeah, exactly. But
this one should be fine.
Fair.
I think so. We can put this in here. Let's comment. That would be up here. Oh, and we're still referencing the old versions here, so we want to bump up that to the latest angle sharpsy. Didn't you push 1 point? Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, not for not net 5 and net standard.
No, but this I'm under net 8, so well.
No, I didn't push that because there was problems that just decided not to go with it. Take the lazy way out.
Okay, rebuilding. Okay, all succeeded. So it's complaining a bit about some.
Yeah, well, they want to have the new stuff with argument null exception throw.
No, yeah, that's absolutely fine to do that. Let's do it.
Can you do this project wide? No.
Yes.
Ooh.
There you go.
Ooh.
And what do we have left in the arrow list? Let's
It
just
was the same thing.
Yeah, and here we need to call this bUnit renderer.
bUnit.
Yeah.
Nice.
What I do want to think is that we can sort of have a obsolete folder where we put all the old interfaces in, and just have them have the name bUnit of the old interface of all type names, and
With an obsolete.
And just add as obsolete, because when people upgrade, they won't just get, hey, we can't find your type. They will get, hey, use this type instead.
Fair.
So that's something. This is not render mode. What is
No, render mode, then parentheses render mode interactive or so. Isn't that called like that?
No, that is like a whole thing you can add to it's an attribute you add to the type, right?
Then it's something with interactive. It starts with interactive. I know that, but
Interact.
I lied. Damn it.
Random.
Blazor .NET 8 interactive render mode.
Yeah, when it's doing its thing. Yes, either way, this was also just a sanity check when we were upgrading to .NET 8, because, oh, dang it, we have a bunch of...
Render mode dot interactive server. That's what you wanted to have.
Yeah,
That's the attribute.
Search replace here. Just replace this with render. Boom, go away. And this component, what was the name of the attribute again?
Render mode dot. Yeah.
They can't use that as a... It's an attribute I need to add. So that gets compiled to something else. I guess maybe they went away from all of that jazz.
Yeah. But doesn't this... yeah, that might be. If people see if it's working, if the test is still passing, then it is.
Well, it turns out it doesn't matter what render mode you have tried. bUnit doesn't care, right? So create thing.
No. It's render mode in parentheses and then new interactive whatever mode. I got it now. Sorry, that was on me. I just checked the website. On the Microsoft website.
But we want it as an attribute, right? So
yeah, absolutely fair.
So
this render mode you had was correct. It's not create fake. It's called create bUnit navigation manager, probably.
Yeah. All right. Let's have it now. Almost.
Damn. Oh, yeah, the same.
Let's go away. Control H.
I do think it's the only one in this file. Yeah, and I hope not that this. I mean, this is a private method.
I'm just gonna do it in all the projects.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Can't be worse than it. Come on, output.
Render.
Oh, yeah, render. Oh, render.
Received.
Come on. Okay. All the projects are building. Update the so that its installation isn't identical with the...
Yeah, probably we could just remove it. We have that test already. Exactly the same one.
Oh, I guess previously it was... Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. Multiple calls. It also has the same display name, so it's just a duplicated thing. Well, can't test too much, I guess. Okay, so do we dare running the test? So
next week.
Next week, yeah.
You always need a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Wait, this is pretty obvious that this.
Just one. What the hell, man?
Well,
which one said it failed? Come on, navigate to it, my friend. So what's the problem?
Navigate to all with state
should be state, but was null.
Oh yeah, I can remember we had a bug report some time ago, and it might be because you chose just the V2 version that this bug fix of the navigation manager is not in.
Oh, dang it! Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised it's only one damn thing which is breaking right now.
The problem is that I chose V2 version of a bunch of things, right? And the challenge is that some of the fixes, because it can't see, because we moved the files to a different place, so
Yeah.
it doesn't see them as a merge config. It just sees that the file is not here anymore, so it's somewhere else. And so we can't do the merge and say, well,
Yeah. Well, to be honest, that's on me. I should have used git move instead of dragging them around via File Explorer or via ReSharper.
Anyway, should I actually just do a vip commit for this, because I have to
Yeah. I would just push that in.
I will. What I will do is I will just commit this, but I won't push. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. We can just check it like next week or so.
yeah. So there we go, and I can maybe do no, new branch, V2, V1, merge. Yeah,
I don't want to know how many
I'm going to push this. So, okay, it's just showing me a white thing. I guess okay.
It does something in top of your window.
Yeah, that was just a dialog box. I think this new region to share thing I'm using is messing up a bit now. So we probably want to go back and double check and maybe like redo so if I just go back here and I just say I want to I want to actually check out main. I'm just going to delete my local v2.
No. Why do you want to delete the local
I just want to go back to whatever is on main. So
okay.
I can sort of redo the origin. I want to check out this guy. Basically reset main to here false, because we have it on the other branch, the merge attempt. But I'm concerned that we are missing stuff, right?
Not sure if I can follow, but go ahead. So you said v2 on main now. Was that right? What?
I'm going to check out that guy, and I am going to actually let me. No,
you want to have a git reset or on origin?
Yes, I'm going to just delete my. Oh, it's because it's.
It's currently checked out one, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to delete it locally. I'm going to check it out again. Yes, track that thing. So now I'm up to date with main and with v2 and main. Why does it think my main is completely off?
Because you reset main to something else earlier.
I guess
you screwed up also your local main, I guess.
Thank God I didn't have.
Just make it git.
I don't care. Go away. Yeah. Stable way. So we have that. this v2 into main, that should still be good and should still be up on the GitHubbies. And let's see here. So there's a whole bunch of So if you look at the commit history here. Yeah, we have all the generated stuff bits in there, plus our merge commit. I want to look at this one. Yes, so it has the latest things we just did recently, right? Plus, but I'm concerned that we lost some changes from V1 because we moved files. So I want to follow up on that, but I'll have to jump off now. And
perfect.
Yes, let's
call it a day.
Yeah, let me double check my calendar, but I think we should be good to go on next Friday as well. It's what day is it? Next Friday. It's
2nd or 3rd or something.
2nd February. Yeah, I'm flying to Stockholm for the conference there with week after, but it should be fine. Yes.
Okay.
Let's jump back here. All right.
Practice my ASMR skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Stephen. Great hanging out. I guess we'll continue with StreamYard next week. Same time, same bad place. And if anybody stuck around, thanks for coding with us. And I guess I'll see you all next Friday.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Have a nice one.
Likewise. in stream.